go straight to Zimbabwe, where we have the latest on the criminal charges that have been dropped against human rights and prominent human rights activist Jestina Mukoko. First, let's hear what she had to say when she heard about this.
I'm just overwhelmed. And what I want to say is, I want to thank all my colleagues in civil society, not just in Zimbabwe, in the region and internationally, because they believed in me. And I think justice has just prevailed. I am so excited, becoming a free person again in Zimbabwe. I didn't have to go through what I went through. I think I am so happy.
Well, now, Scott Bobb, VOA correspondent, is standing by on the phone from Zimbabwe. Hello, Scott.
Hello, Vincent.
Now, we heard what Ms. Mukoko had to say. What's the reaction from others in Zimbabwe following this decision by the Supreme Court?
Well, the Movement for Democratic Change, which had 16 of its activists arrested about the same time as Mrs. Mukoko, reacted very quickly, calling it a vindication of its position that the charges brought were trumped up. It said that these arrests were illegal detention and torture by state agents and was a clear violation of their constitutional rights. And as we know, the court ruled that it was because of such violations that the charges, the prosecution would not continue because the evidence had been obtained extra-constitutionally. And so sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I want to say, you know, some people would say this is rare in the Zimbabwe justice system, but is really that the case? Is that the case?
No, Zimbabwean judges have on various occasions, and in fact over the years, many occasions shown independence and judicious ethics, but there have also been cases that many observers have felt where this has not been shown. There are hopes among some in the legal circles that this could be the beginning of a new trend, and yet others are a bit more cautious in saying that this is an isolated case. Ms. Mukoko was very prominent internationally, had a lot of support, and there are still other activists and others who are still detained and even disappeared.
Now, what are some reading in terms of political implication into this decision?
Well, politically, it's a justification, a vindication of the MDC's position that these were illegal detentions and that torture was used to extract so-called confessions, many of which were meant to bolster charges against other individuals, and that this was part of a campaign of intimidation waged by certain agents of the state. If the courts continue to show this kind of independence, there could be hope that such activities would cease or at least decline.
So is it accurate to say that there are many more who have similar charges that are pending in courts against them?
Well, there are even some who have disappeared and who haven't even been charged in court, who have not even appeared in court. And there are others who have appeared in court and have charges. A few have had charges dropped after going through a lengthy judicial process, such as Ms. Mukoko did. So it varies, and it's almost a case-by-case situation.
Well, and just finally, briefly, give us a sense of the situation just in Zimbabwe right now that you're there.
Well, the situation economically has improved markedly since the introduction of the dollar and the rand, and there's a degree of stabilization since the global political agreement 1 year ago and the government of national unity about 8 months ago. Life is still very difficult, and there's still rivalries and confrontations within the government among the various parties to this government, but there is some progress seen, incremental, inch by inch almost, towards ultimate implementation.
Thank you very much, Scott. And that is Scott Bobb, our Southern Africa Bureau Chief, speaking to us by phone from Zimbabwe.